Practice Community.
All right, so I think Alex and I had a little discussion maybe a few weeks ago about what we wanted to speak about, and Alex came up with some great topics. Um, but I think within my own space of where I was thinking about, this idea of changing your world and creating the type of life that you want. And the reason why I was thinking about this was I had a discussion with a client, and she was going through a huge transformation in her life. And she had basically almost walked the same footpath I walked through, which was she went through healing herself for 7 years. And she tried all these different techniques to heal herself, and she got nothing. So she was like, this is what's happened to me. And then I narrated a little about um, my journey of healing also, because I also went through 7 years of healing. And I went through acupuncture, acupressure, theta healing, pranic healing, something called Sajoke, which is this magnet therapy that's there too. I did this other mindful meditation where the practitioner told me at that time that, wait, okay, that's interesting that I'm not correct. I mean, what is correct? I spent a lot of money, and then I decided one day I was looking at my bank balance, come out of a shower, and I was just looking at myself and saying, uh, um, you know what? All of this does not matter anymore. What matters? What are you looking for? What is this search that you're doing? What are you trying to fix? What's broken? What's going to happen? What's going to change? Is your trauma going to change? Is your history going to change? Are you going to change because of us fixing your past? My past can't change. My past is part of me. So that realization about my past really changed a lot of things in my perspective and in my journey. That moment, I looked at myself and all I said was, you know what you are? You're love. And let's focus at love and move forward from love. And then I started practicing healing in a way that I never thought I would heal. And that was just by my everyday actions and what I do every day and what I feel every day. Um, Many of you I've probably done sessions online with, but if you ever do come into my space, Alex has come into my space, Saloni has come into my space in India, Alex has come into my space in Dubai, and there's this energy that I create, and that's an energy that I create every day, not because somebody's visiting or my clients are coming, but I create this energy for myself. So when Alex was speaking to me a few weeks ago about what we were going to talk about, I forgot what the other topics were, Alex, that you came up with. You came up with like 5 or 4 topics. And then I said,
I
let's,
all I can remember is manifesting. I'm like, let's talk about manifesting.
and then I was like thinking, haven't we done that in every permutation and connotation? And I just thought that everybody needs to have some sort of change that's happening for them without being scared about it. And I really felt that maybe it's time to give out those tools and understand how to get to that place where you allow change to happen and how you make um, the world a better place for yourself. Forget about anybody else, forget about the others right now, but let's look at ourselves and kind of make this um, peaceful, relaxed, loving bubble that we could live in and be just comforted in. So when I was speaking to this client a few weeks ago, and I spoke to her about she was speaking about her journey, and I said, we walked the same path, and so her first reaction to that is, but Dad, you're Dan. You're not, you don't seem like you have any of these issues or you don't have any of these problems. And I said, you know what? The thing is that I take my issues and I take my problems and I don't make them into something that's going to affect everything within my system. Um, Again, I'm going to tell you something personal that's just happened to me family wise over the last 2 weeks. So over the last 2 weeks, I had a death in the family. My father's brother passed away. And then post that, somebody close in my family miscarried twins. And then they had I think it's called DNC or something, where they extrapolate the whatever is left over. So they did that on Saturday, and then on Sunday, my mother went into the hospital because she was having severe high blood pressure. So all of that was happening, and I'm in a time zone that's a night time zone when it's day for my family. So I didn't sleep those 2 nights. Did that affect me at all for my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? I mean, that I made it a part of an issue or a hassle or struggle at that moment, but it also made me feel that I needed to kind of set aside what's happening to everybody else around me, even though it's tragic, and try to focus back at me, because if I'm not strong, then I can't be there for them. If I'm not emotionally okay, then I can't be there for them again. So it brought me back to, again, changing my world. And I went back on Monday morning, even though I didn't sleep much on Sunday night, but on Monday morning, woke up, lit my candles, took my shower, did what I had to do. Um, so there was a lot of things that were happening at this time. And actually, I actually probably also I think I had a meeting with Saloni on Saturday, and Saloni probably had no clue anything was happening. So she was just like, she's probably hearing about this for the first time. But it doesn't mean that I ignored it. It was still a part of me. But what I made sure that happened was I didn't disrupt my energy. I didn't disrupt my flow. I think sometimes what happens is because we've gone through so much in our life and we've gone through so much pain, and we've gone through so much self-doubt, fear, then it's hard for us to actually make those changes. And the biggest thing about change is the first thing that pops up to most people when we hear the word change is fear, because it's the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen. So if we take out that fear of the unknown and say, hey, we're going to change, and whatever happens out of my change, I'm going to accept it, and I'm not going to make it trigger me. I'm not going to make it disable me. I'm not going to make it undermine me. Fear is the biggest thing that everybody is scared of. But fear also, if most of you have seen this movie, which I keep on telling everybody to watch, Inside Out, that fear is just a warning, and it has to live with all the other emotions. And I do recommend that everybody does watch this movie called it's a children's film, but it's very adult in its context, and it has great methods to understand emotionally how to balance yourself in order to deal with everything. So you could be angry, sad, happy, joyful, glutton. You could be all of this at the same time without it distracting you. It's called balancing yourself. So I would definitely watch that film. So coming back to fear, because we have these ideas of fear, and we worry about the outcome of whatever we're going to change, or we worry about, will we get the validation, will we be okay, be it, do we change our location like Cindy did, do we change our career path like Alex did, do we change our emotional and mental and physical self like Saloni's done, full 360. Um, but everybody, I mean, everybody goes through some sort of change, but they're fearful of it. And I think everybody, even myself, has that question mark about what's going to happen. We need to take that out. Even though I'm somebody who does predictions, sometimes it's not really important to know about the future, and it's just important to know about the now and how I'm going to change the now to make sure that I live in a more harmonious moment with myself. The other thing is that we lack confidence. We break our confidence. We do not speak to ourselves with confidence. We allow other people to give us their 2 cents, and that also kind of makes our confidence less. There's a lot of programming that happens when we speak to people. And if you're speaking to the wrong person, then it's not going to help you change the way you need to change. I met this young girl yesterday, and she was talking about this relationship that she's in. And she said that, she's going through problems. I said, why are you going through problems? She said, well, she told her friends about the person, and they had all these opinions about it. So then she went back and she fought with the person she was dating because she's listening to all these opinions. So I asked her, why is the opinion of all these people important in this relationship? This relationship's just between the two of you. It's not you and your friends that are in this relationship, or your parents or anybody else. It's just you and this person. So why does it matter what everybody else wants? So she said that it's important to know, to be accepted by everybody else. So I said, there's a fear of not being accepted by everybody else. She goes, yeah, because they should also like my partner. They should also feel the same way I feel about my partner. I said, not necessarily. They don't have to feel anything. They just have to support you and what you're feeling. If you need help emotionally, then they should help you, but they shouldn't dictate and change the way that you're doing things. So she said, yes, but they said, this person doesn't have a stable job right now, and you're going to have to get married and all this other stuff. And when I tell you the age of this person, I mean, she was like just turning 23. She's just turning 23. So I said, where does marriage come into this? You're turning 23. You're not going to get married any time in the next 2 to 3 years. And we don't even know if you're going to marry this person. Why can't you just enjoy the moment with this person? So she went on to say that her friends are getting married, her friends are getting engaged. And I was like, listen, if you're going to be a follower, then be a follower, or you follow what's true to yourself. I don't think this person's a bad person. They're hardworking. They love you. And the main thing is, if there's love in a relationship, that's all that matters. Everything else is a bonus. The money, the trips, the gifts, everything else is a bonus. All that matters is love. So she said she's never seen it that way. And that's it. She said, okay, cool. So I'm going to do what you said. And I said, no, you don't do what I say either. I'm just giving you an objective point of view to say, hey, it's time for you to change the way that you're looking at things, because you're looking at what everybody else is saying and you're following somebody else's narrative, and you're not following what your story is. So are you going to follow somebody else's roadmap, or are you going to create your own roadmap to love? And she says, I want to create my own roadmap to love. So I said, okay, then we create that roadmap to love. But that perspective had to change. So in order for anyone to change their world, they're just going to have to change their perspective. They're going to have to not focus on fear. They're going to have to focus on being confident and proactive. The other thing is, we come up with an idea or we have a desire to do something, and then we're not proactive enough with it. Then we ask other people for their opinion. We don't do the due diligence to make things happen when they need to happen. We don't do it. It's like a few weeks ago, I spoke to somebody else, and they are not having a very good relationship with their spouse. So I said, have you spoken to a divorce lawyer? And they seized up and started sweating and almost went into tears. And I said, why this reaction? no, I don't want to talk to a divorce lawyer. I said, well, you guys aren't getting along. But I'm not telling you to go to a divorce lawyer because you're going to get divorced. I'm telling you to go to a divorce lawyer to understand what your rights are, to understand what is the process of divorce. Without understanding what divorce is and what you are going to have to go through, you're already having all of this anxiety about something. There's no need to have the anxiety. You're not getting divorced right now. You have to have everything out there on the table to understand, is this the path that I want to take? Without knowing that, and having this stigmatized ideology about divorce and what society would think and what people would think and what family would think and what would my friends think, it just makes you kind of demolish whatever you needed to do for yourself. So they heard me out. They took a number for a divorce lawyer, and hopefully they've done their due diligence. But the problem is with the majority of us, that is, we come up with a brilliant idea and then we have a lot of fear and we don't go through it and we don't do our due diligence to understand what we want to do, or we don't even think about how it's important for us to rise above our own limitations. Sometimes we think that, yes, I'm somebody who's theoretical and I'm thinking, I don't know about art, I don't know creativity, I don't know about the stuff, so I'm not going to venture into that because I never looked at that. And the problem there also is that until you don't experience something, I don't think you can make a judgment call on it. And when I talk about that, I'm talking about this kind of stuff, be it something creative or something in e-commerce or something in love. Instead of having a preconceived notion about things, why not start doing the work to get towards something and create the destiny that you want? So is this clear so far for everybody, or is it a little all over the place right now? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I need validation sometimes too. I'm just looking at everybody, I'm like thinking, I'm not getting any sort of like, everybody looks like they're frozen. Anyways, so if I was to set aside a plan of action for change, the first thing I would do in this plan of action for change is to declutter my emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual self. What does that mean? Emotionally, am I overthinking things? Emotionally, meaning that, am I feeling too sad about something? Am I being too fearful about something? Am I being overly zealous about something? I need to be at a place that's very still emotionally. Then mentally, am I overthinking about it? Am I over analytical about it? Am I undermining myself? Am I talking myself out of it? All right. So emotionally, mentally. Now, physically, I physically declutter my space. I physically declutter my home. I physically declutter my car. I physically declutter my notebooks. I physically declutter my washroom. I just make sure that I've taken away the physical clutter for myself. Also, the other thing that I would do is probably write for 10 minutes every day, which I've probably told a few of you to do, is to write for 10 minutes a day, whatever's in your head, to declutter that mind, whatever comes out. I forgot about my toilet paper. I have to feed the cat. Oh my God, that person's an idiot. Whatever it is, you write that down on that paper for 10 minutes. Or, oh my God, Dan told me to write. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. What should I write? Oh my God, I shouldn't write. Why am I writing? What's this writing thing? Whatever it is, whatever the psychosis is that's happening in your mind, you just write that for 10 minutes every day. This declutters your mind of the excess conversation that you're having. So this is the other thing that you can do. So now we're saying physical, now spiritual. So now, I think everybody has their own spiritual practice, and that's great. Sometimes it's related to God, sometimes it's related to the universe, sometimes it's related to the earth. So now the spiritual space that I'm talking about is that maybe you're not doing enough in your everyday to create a spiritual environment also. And when I say this is, are you outside in nature, which connects you to spiritualism? Are you doing something like maybe lighting a candle every day, as simple as that? Why a candle? The candle represents you, represents your eternal flame. I also want to say something from uh, my culture. When you light anything, it represents the goddess of wealth, and she's also represents wealth in everything, not only in money, but in love, in light, in happiness. She is one of the most divine goddesses that we have. And we also, I mean, the value, I would say lighting a candle, not because of the goddess, but let the light or that candle represent your soul. And when you light that candle, it represents the light that you're lighting in your soul. So that's the way that I would look at it. And I would do that as a spiritual practice too. The other thing is, are you speaking correctly to yourself, or are you undermining yourself? Everybody, I want you to understand that you can worry, you can stress out, you can talk badly to yourself. You can catch yourself doing that, and in 30 seconds, change that and change the way that you speak about yourself, change the words that you're using. You may say something like, okay, you wake up and you're feeling not the happiest in that moment. You may be grouchy. You got out of the bed the wrong way. Whatever it is, you're not happy. You're not good. If you're not happy, then you need to change that, and that may take you 10 minutes. That may take you 30 minutes. Whatever it does, whatever makes you happy, you do that. If it's listening to music, that's the quickest way of doing it. Or is it eating something that will give you that little boost of energy at that moment? And I'm not talking about chocolate. I'm not talking about ice cream. I'm not talking about fried chicken. I'm talking about having maybe a piece of fruit that will just change you internally, or having something like a glass of warm water with lemon and mint, or have, so basically you're changing also your physicality because you're drinking this and it's making you be settled. So everybody got these little tools about changing, if you can change these little things. So once I change these elements around me, change will automatically happen. And that kind of change will first show up in your surroundings. You will start seeing the change happen with people around you. You'll also see it happening in work. You'll also see it happening with the loved ones around you too. Now, the changing of your world, if you have an intention now to do anything, be it love, be it work, be it getting out of a relationship, be it moving to Costa Rica, be it going to Bali, whatever it is, whatever your intention for change is right now. Yes, maybe some of us have to go on a trip and just find ourselves and maybe eat, pray, love our way out of things. Fine, no issue. You could do that too. Whatever that change that incites in you, and insight's not here. I want that change to come from here, from your soul, from your heart, what you feel from here. That's the change that has to be made. That logical change of saying, okay, well, I'm earning $1,000, but I want to earn $2,000. That's a logical change. Okay, that can happen automatically. That's not something that's going to change. I mean, it's not probably going to change your world that much, but yeah, maybe it'll change your bank account a little, but maybe not your whole world, which is fine. That's just a financial thing. But when I'm talking about changing your world, I'm saying changing your life in such a way that you feel better, you live better, you are exuding radiance at all the time. And no, it doesn't mean you have to be positive all the time. There's no need to be positive all the time. The need is to be in balance, and the need is to be in peace. Peace in your mind, peace in your heart, peace in your soul, and everything else that happens is a bonus. When love comes to you, when abundance comes to you, everything else will just be a bonus. If I can come to a place of balance within that. Does the tools make sense to everybody? Yeah? Okay. All right, great. Yeah, great. Okay. If we're gonna incite more change, I also think that it's important to understand what you want to change. And I know that I talk a lot about writing, and it doesn't mean that you have to become writers, but if you can just sit down and in 3 lines, write down almost like a mission statement of how you want life to change. And that could be anything. You write down whatever it is, you write down that mission statement and you write down what it is in 3 sentences, not 3 words, 3 sentences. And in 3 sentences, that ends up becoming the start of your own roadmap to your own happiness, to your own change. So that could be in love, that could be in work, that could just be in general, that my mission statement is to become at peace and be happy and have full of joy. And now next, after that, I'll break that down and say, what aspects do I feel will bring me joy? What aspects will bring me happiness? What aspects will bring me this? You break it down and keep on breaking this down. When you're breaking it down, then you've got the idea of, okay, I've got to do these things. And those things need to happen. If I don't understand the way that those things happen, you can speak to somebody like me to help you with that journey too, to make it a little bit more defined, that I'm not going beyond happiness or I'm not going beyond this. But sometimes some people are in a no and doing something that's logistical and they don't like that. Or they're ending up teaching and they don't want to teach anymore. And they need to find a new life path, or they need to find a new way to incite change. That change can happen. And if you don't find it within yourself, what I would recommend again is go back to when you were in your mid-teens and kind of go back to what you liked back then. Was it something creative? Was it something sports related? Whatever it is, bring that back. Do we use that as the life purpose? Do we use that as what I'm going to do? No. You use that, what you used to like at that age, to be therapeutic for you, to come back to yourself. And then you do those tasks. Maybe it was singing, maybe it was dancing, maybe it was volleyball, maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it's playing hopscotch, or what is the other thing with the numbers on the thing? I think that's hopscotch on me. Okay, yeah. So maybe it was just that, but whatever that is, you bring that back into your life right now and you live that way and you boost back up the happiness and the joy back into your life because you're doing something that really resonated with you back then. And you allow yourself to become something, you vibrate at a different level energy-wise because you're in the spirit now. And when you're in that spirit, your soul will automatically say, hey, try this, try this, try this. And then you try it. You don't do it for a day. You don't do it for a week. When you try things, you're trying practice, you're trying a new job, you're trying a new lover, whatever it is, you give it three months and you see where it goes, whatever it is. And why 3 months is because I think 3 months is a good gestation period. If you guys understand what a gestation period is where things start developing. And you need those 3 months for things to develop before you can do anything. I'm going to use Alex as an example because she's my favorite example to use. But when Alex was going through that change in her life, when she met me, and she sat down and she's bawling for an hour, listening to whatever I had to say. And I didn't allow her to, she didn't have to speak because it was just flowing out. of my mouth nonstop for an hour. And at the end, she just said, okay. After she said okay to listening to all this fabulous stuff that she's listening to, Alex isn't proactive. Alex didn't do her due diligence, and Alex was focusing on going to a gym and talking to some rando and making that a very big important part of her life, because that was the person that made her feel the best that she's ever felt before. So it was amazing that Alex felt that way, though I told her it's not going to work out the second time she spoke to me, which then made her feel even more upset with me. And then she said nothing's working out until she came the third time. And when she came the third time, she understood that she didn't do the work. And when you don't do the work, nothing's going to change. And she started doing the work, and things started to change. I also did not allow Alex to quit her job. Alex can vouch for this. I did not allow Alex to quit her teaching job till I knew Alex was on the right threshold of change. And I made sure she built everything else before she made that decision. Even though she came to me and says, Dan, I'm going to quit now. I was like, no, Alex, you're not quitting right now. Wait. Dan, I don't want to live here anymore. I want to live somewhere else. No, Alex, you can move out of your house and go shack in with some other person. No problem. Dan, I feel like I'm gonna run away to this place. No, Alex, wait. The time is not now. Because Alex also didn't do enough of the work that she had to do. She's also trying to get her certificate as a life coach. She wanted to do so many hours. She also had a whole bunch of yoga things she wanted to do. There's a lot of things Alex was going through at the same time. And Alex had such great ideas, and she's living all of those great ideas right now. From merchandise, I mean, merchandise was like probably from the get-go that she wanted to do. And I was like, no, Alex, wait for it. But she did all of her due diligence. Even though I told her to wait, it was Alex who came up with what she had to do to get to where she had to go. I was just a stopper at some times, and then I was the red light, green light, yellow light for her, basically. So while she was driving, I was like, okay, red light, okay, green light, okay, yellow light for her. And Alex had that change because she also went into the space of physically decluttering her space, mentally decluttering, and emotionally decluttering. And then spiritually also finding what her spiritualism was. And she built her spiritualism in that time while she was in Abu Dhabi. But Alex can also vouch for this, and I hope she does vouch for this.
Yeah, 100%. I actually even kind of wish that I had that WhatsApp history with you, because it was like years, probably 2 years of me texting Dan every couple months saying, I'm going to quit my job. I'm leaving. I'm going to quit my job. I'm over it. I want to go. And Dan be like, no, you're not ready. And then I would get so mad, and it just kind of like kept going until finally the point when he finally was like, yeah, you're ready. And you're ready to, and then it was like, after that, as soon as I quit, you know, him saying, okay, go to Bali. You're ready to go. I see you on an island. And so it was just like finding the right moment, even when I wanted to rush the process.
Correct. But Alex also understood that she had to do the work, and she did the work, and she got to where she had to go. But she changed her world, and she changed her world within about a year and a half of understanding of her doing the work. And that's when everything changed for her. So she is a great example of how you can change your world. And I kind of feel that everyone that's here, and anybody, even if they're not here, if they watch this later, if they get to watch this later, can make those changes happen. But start off with these little things first, so you can get to a space to understand what changes you want to do. Does this make sense? Yeah? Okay. Does anybody have any questions right now regarding this, or anything that's confusing to them? Show of hands. Yeah, I'm confused. Dan, I don't understand. Dan, okay, good. I'm not putting you all on the spot, but I'm just saying, like, if you do have anything that, you know, you want to point out or ask about. Or also, if you are in the space of change and you need a little help, this is a great forum right now. If you're open to speaking about it, then we can speak about it in this group so everybody can understand it too. But I think that if you feel like these tools are difficult for you, then let me know. But these are the tools that I think can help you the most easiest without having anybody else interfering in your life, if that makes sense. Cool? Yes? No? All right. Yes.
Yeah, I've got a question. I've just done this amazing retreat and had so much time to think about where I am in my life. And as I approach my 60th birthday, I'm, thinking about when I get home to the UK of making a big change. And that is just like giving up my job. Basically, how do I know if that's right for me? My job does not light me up anymore. So it's almost like I need to know what I feel now is real,
So I think that what you're feeling is real, and that makes you now question the job that you have right now. So the job is not feeling right to you, then great. What are we going to do instead of the job? It'll be great for you to sit on the beach and just have coconut water for the rest of your life. I get that. But that could be very boring too. So maybe you need to start thinking about what else you would love to do. Would you like to do something that is very mindful? Would you like to do something that's helpful? Would you like to now knit and create stockings? Would you like to go to the stock market or become a property broker and having everybody else that's on this find a beautiful spot in Bali, a home in Bali or Costa Rica, and maybe you're that person that helps you're the home finder for everybody. But at the end of the day, you also have to say, I'm going to take something out. What am I putting back in? And if I'm taking something out, what am I going to put back in? You have to understand what it is you want to put back in. Because
I've just qualified
taking out the job.
I've just qualified as a sobriety coach. So, I'm sort of that lights me up. that really lights me up.
So what you would do now is, while you're working at this job, you don't quit it right away. On the weekends, you start taking clients and you start coaching, and you keep on coaching them for the next couple of months. For 3 months, you coach on the weekends, and on the 4th month, so on the first of whatever it is, you say, hey, okay, now I can make my decision to stop this because I've got 1,000 people I have to coach, and I'm taking an energy exchange for it too. And so I'm also making what I need to take care of myself too. So I don't need this other thing anymore. So bye-bye to whatever it was, and I stick to what I'm doing. Does that make sense?
100%.
Am I stuck? Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Anybody else? Yes, Cindy.
I just want to say that what you're talking, I mean, obviously everything has resonated with me, and inadvertently, that's exactly the path that I took, and really not even knowing that that's what I was doing, reflecting back. And I would just say, like what you just said to Carol, one of the most important things for me was just to concentrate on what's the next right step, right? And then, because I felt like the process of doing that was learning to trust myself, my intuition, and my inner guidance. And it was like baby steps until, of laying that foundation of learning the practice of listening to myself and moving forward in a mindful, purposeful manner. I couldn't have expressed that at the time, looking back. So I love that advice that you're giving, because I think that's really important. So that's all. I just wanted to comment on that.
Thank you, Cindy. Anybody else want to add or question or yes. Erin, like we can't hear you. I think you're on mute.
Hi, sorry, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I don't use Zoom often, and I think I accidentally got on here. I was trying to get into another one, but
Yeah.
I just want to say that everything you said,
We can hear you.
I was needing right now. I'm going to try not to get emotional because I'm going through a period of change, and it's so funny that I ended up on here. And I just want to say that I got a bunch of stuff written down from you, and it was really insightful. Thank you.
All right, Cindy. Also, I'm gonna put this out for everybody who's here. Again, if you have a one-off question, message me, post this that you might not want to speak about it on here, and that's fine. Whenever we do one of these forums, Alex and I always put that out. If there's a one-off question, message me or DM me on Instagram, and I'll answer that for you. Don't worry about it. And if I can help, I'll help, right? But yeah, if you've got multiple questions, then you got to do a session. But if it's a one-off thing, no problem. Just message me, and I'm more than welcome to help you all. And that's because we're all part of the mindful life practice. Is there anything else anybody wants to say?
Erin, were you joining with the interview with Amanda? Was that the one? Okay, I was wondering because I know Mel as well, Melanie Frigalt, and she was in the waiting room. And I was like, maybe there's been a mix up with Atlantic time and Eastern Standard Time because you guys are 1 hour. There's a 1 hour difference between Toronto time. Anyway, so hopefully, I mean, Amanda's not here, so hopefully she has the time right. But it's the interview with her starts in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think I got mixed up in the times. I hope it's okay that I was in here.
Absolutely. I'm so happy you were here, and I hope that you can still make the interview after. I'm really excited for that one. So I'm interviewing Amanda, who did my yoga teacher training with me in 2014, and she's gone on to found her own yoga studio, which I actually came and visited the studio in 2018, I think, and I taught a pop-up class on the online platform a year ago. Anyway, so if anyone wants to hear from yoga studio owner about her entrepreneurial journey, that's what's going to happen next in about 10 minutes. So.
All right. Well, I want, so Alex probably going to share my Instagram link for everybody who wants to. I think that if there's anything else, if you need any other sorting out by me, I'm there to help. And I'm going to do one of my favorite things, because I don't think there's any more questions or anything else, but I'm going to do my favorite thing right now, where I pull out a card for each of you. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull out, how many of us are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. 13 people. I'm going to take out 13 cards, and 13 cards are all meant for all of you. It's not for an individual person. It's all meant for all of you. Okay.
The difficult relationships in my life are the perfect mirror for me to look more closely at my own behavior. Beautiful.
All right. I'm also in the process of developing my own cards. Thanks to Kathy to push me in that direction too.
Waiting more for others puts me into an energy, or sorry, wanting more for others puts me into an energy of abundance.
Is it showing backwards? No, anyways, I'm going to take a picture of everything, Alex, and I'm going to send it across to you. And maybe you can send it to whoever was joining this, if that's
Perfect.
possible, right? Okay.
Oneness is my true nature. I'm in awe of the magnificent guidance. Hold on. I'm in awe of the magnificent guidance that's available to me. Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to start reading it so Alex doesn't have to strain so much. Okay. It says, I'm unapologetic about what I desire, and I trust that what I feel, what I focus on will grow. Also, what I fear will grow too, right? If I focus on my fear. So energy goes where, sorry, everything fell down. Just give me a second. Yeah, I'd like to say that too, that energy will go wherever you're going to put it, right? So if you fear anything, or if you, or somebody's irritating you or anything, watch where you're putting that energy, because you're just going to get more of that. And also, your energy is so valuable. Why would you waste it on anybody else or anything else? So just kind of look where you're putting your energy. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm going to read it. Directing my focus onto what's thriving creates more of what I want. Yeah. I'm doing 9 cards. Sorry, I'm reducing it. Okay. Believing in spiritual guidance gives me certainty and the freedom to keep dreaming, even when I can't yet see the results. You know, there's this amazing song that I keep on hearing. I don't know who the artist is. She was on America's Got Talent or something, and she sang something about daydream. Don't quit your daydreaming. You know, we forget to stay true to what we're dreaming, and we kind of go into reality, and we forget what daydreams are and follow our daydreams. I love Gabby's cards. Okay. It says, I choose to be a super attractor and have unwavering faith in the universe. Now, whenever you see the word universe or you see God or anything, remember what the universe, you are the God, you are the spirit, you are spiritualism. So it's not a destination that you have to go to, it's already in you. You just have to find it within you, tap into yourself. There's a dearth of knowledge within your soul that has lived there for eons. That soul has been around many places. We just have to learn how to tap into that and just feel that energy. I'm going to take a picture of all these cards and send them across to Alex, and then Alex can do the due diligence and the needfulness of sending it across to everybody, and the due diligence of getting everybody's contact information. All right. Thank you, everybody. So my last words of wisdom: be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and thank you. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope to see you all soon again. And I know that Alex will do something like this maybe in 3 or 4 months, and we will talk about something else. And also, if you guys feel there's topics that you want us to talk about, be it on our podcast or be it in one of these, lots of love and light to you all.
Thank you so much, Dan. We so appreciate you being here. You always are such an inspiring person and have so much wisdom to share with our community. So thank you so much.
All right.